Hello friends, welcome to this video where we will discuss about the different types of topics which are given in group discussions, and more importantly, how do we generate points on a given topic so that we can make an impression on the invigilator and give him the feel that we have excelled in the group discussion. We have already covered the basics of how to do group discussions, the do's and the don'ts. So if you have not watched that video, I'm giving the link in the description. Do take a look before you come to this particular video. Now there are three different types of topics which are given in group discussions. The first one is general topics, which means that you can start off on the topic without too much of a preparation, because most of the points are common knowledge. Of course, the depth that you bring into the discussion, the extra points that you bring in makes a lot of difference. For example, topics like B schools are not just placement agencies. Couples should not work together. Social media is antisocial. Is exposure to Western media and culture influencing the Indian youth? So these are samples of the general topics which have actually been given in group discussions at various B schools. What I mentioned are actual topics. Now all these topics I mentioned and more are of a general nature, which means that the advantage is that all of us would know something about these topics. These are common knowledge, which makes it possible for us to come into the discussion with valid points and arguments. Now in these kind of topics, if you can go beyond the ordinary, the normal, do some out of the box kind of thinking and bring in points which are very, very striking, then you can make a strong impression on the evaluator. Let me give you an example. I was doing a discussion on the topic euthanasia, good or bad. So the setting was not about India, it just said euthanasia good or bad, very open-ended kind of topic. And it started off and went along on the usual expected lines where people were talking about why euthanasia should not be allowed, in what cases euthanasia could be thought about in extreme cases. Then there were thoughts about whether euthanasia, if allowed, would be misused and what kind of safeguards should be put in place. And then people brought in parallels from countries where euthanasia was allowed, some countries where it is not allowed, even though they were part of the Western world. So the discussion went on and a lot of points came in, and more or less the expected usual points were discussed. And then suddenly one of the students brought in a point: can we think about euthanasia for sick industries, particularly government organizations where the inefficiency and the fact that they are in the red is bleeding public money? So can we look at either a turnaround, or if it is not possible, then can we apply the concept of euthanasia there? Now look at the brilliance of what he said. Look at the topic. It said euthanasia, good or bad. Now we can talk about euthanasia for humans, we can talk about euthanasia for animals, for example, racing horses, it sometimes happens. And then this gentleman was talking about applying the concept of euthanasia to industries which are very sick and which are bleeding public money. And look at the context. We're doing a discussion for selection to a B school. So we need to be smart and try to bring in special points by thinking out of the box in certain situations. It may not apply to all the general topics, but if you can do that, then it's a winning point. The next kind of topics are what is called knowledge-based topics, where, as the name suggests, we need to have some idea about the topic as we go into the GD. So people who have prepared well on current affairs, on a wide range of topics, would naturally have an advantage. Topics like artificial intelligence, threat or opportunity, 1.4 billion people and only 7 Olympic medals. Higher education breeds inequity. Should agricultural income in India be taxed? Smaller states are easier to govern. Should military conscription be made mandatory for the youth of India? Another topic could be when USA sneezes, the world catches a cold, and more of those kind of topics. So here, we should have a general idea about the topic, use the time given for preparation, 3 to 5 minutes, most likely would be given for knowledge-based topics, note down points, and also when you come into the discussion, connect with others' points, others' ideas, and then develop on it. So in addition to your points. The third type of topics are called abstract topics, where, as the name suggests, the topics would not be clearly defined, and it is up to the participants to define the topic in their own way and understanding. The more variety of definitions and interpretations come up, the more vibrant would be the group discussion. For example, topics like life is a box of chocolates, if wishes were horses, beggars would ride, green is better than red, cross logs don't catch fire, and so on. So now let us discuss how do we generate points. What are the techniques for generating points in a group discussion? Many students are worried that I'm not able to think effectively and come up with points. I did not know anything about the given topic, so I could not do much. I could not be effective in the GD and so on. So let us look at the methods for generating points so that you can be effective in participating well in the group discussion. There are 3 important techniques that you can use. One is look at the key words in the topic. Second, look at the views of the stakeholders. Put yourself in the shoes of the stakeholders and look at the topic from their own eyes, which will help you to come up with varied opinions about the topic. And the third one is what is called SLEPT in short, which is social, legal, economic, political, and technical aspects of the given topic. So let us look at each of these techniques in detail with examples. Let's consider a topic. Advertising is all glitter and no truth. What I would suggest is to pause the video here, take a couple of minutes, note down your points, and then play the video and see how we could generate maximum points about this particular topic. Most likely, when you hear about this particular topic, what comes into your mind are the commercial advertisements that you see with a lot of glitter and glitz. So it is usual for participants to focus more on the commercial advertisements and take the discussion forward. Now let us see how applying the techniques would help us to generate diverse points and bring in more aspects to the discussion. The first technique is to focus on the key words in the given topic. Which are the key words here? One is advertising, next is glitter, and then the word truth. These are the key words in the given topic. We need to focus on each of these 3 and try and generate more points. The topic also says advertising is all glitter. All glitter means only glitter, nothing else. And it also says no truth. It is not saying that advertising is partially truthful or sometimes not truthful, nothing like that. It says no truth. So it's a sweeping statement. So now let us look at the keywords, take each of this and see how we can develop points. Now we are looking at generating maximum points in the time given to us, 3 to 5 minutes commonly by the faculty before the start of the discussion. So let us take this word advertising and think about all aspects of advertising. For example, what is advertising? Somebody has to come in and define what is advertising. So don't think that everybody knows what is advertising or that is common knowledge. We need not talk about it. No, you should. If you are the first one to say that and if you do that well, you get points. So what is advertising? Who advertises? What is the need for advertising? Advertising is for whom? Who are the target audience? What are the different kinds of advertisements that we see? Is it only commercial advertisements? Think about it. What are the different types of advertisements? You would see social advertisements quite a lot. For example, polio vaccine campaigns, drive safely on the road, campaigns done by hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, educating people about various illnesses, how to tackle that, the kind of social awareness or warning kind of campaigns about cigarette smoking that you would see when you go to a movie theater. You would also see political advertising quite a lot. So what are the benefits of advertising? Where all do we see these advertisements? Is it only on TV? Is it only on social media? What about electronic advertising? What about advertising on the road, billboards, pamphlets? What about advertising on packaging? So what does advertising for? Is it only to sell a product or service? That is a standard kind of dialogue that people make. Advertising is for selling a product or service to generate revenue, profits. So if we just look at that singular aspect from the commercial advertising point of view, our discussion would be extremely limited, isn't it? The moment somebody talks about social advertising to educate the public, to safeguard the public against certain consequences, then you're bringing in a new aspect. Advertising is not just for extracting business for an organization, not at all. So bring in various aspects. Let's look at the word glitter. Now, what does glitter mean? The topic says advertising is all glitter, only glitter. So define what is glitter. What do you think is glitter? Because it has a negative connotation in this particular topic, isn't it? Because advertising is all glitter. So what is the kind of glitter that you see in advertising? Are you talking about creating excessive kind of excitement about a simple product, trying to glorify a product, for example, the kind of ads we see for soft drinks? Or does glitter mean that we are talking about celebrity advertisements? In a lot of cases, we remember the celebrity more than the advertisement. Glitter, does it mean making tall claims? For example, this health drink will help a youngster to gain height very rapidly or improve his thinking power, his or her thinking power, to perform well in the examinations and things like that. This glitter means comparing two products, an anonymous product and the product which is being advertised, where the product which is advertised is touted as being X times more effective. So what is glitter? Define what is glitter. Why should advertisers bring in glitter? What is the need for glitter? Why can't they just talk about the product per se, talk about the benefits? What are the methods by which advertisers bring in that kind of glitz and glamour? Is it to try and cover up something? Is it to just focus only on some key aspects while glossing over some of the glaring deficiencies of the product? What are the effects of glitter, positive and negative? When the topic says it is all glitter and no truth, which means that by using glitter, are we trying to hide the truth? So talk about these aspects and more. And then we come to the word truth. So are advertisements always speaking the truth? Wouldn't the advertisers try to cover up their weaknesses in their product and focus only on the good points or try and hype it up? So is hype the glitter that we talked about? Shouldn't advertisements talk about the truth? Aren't they supposed to do that? Do we see them always saying the truth? Should they not take the well-being of their customers into account, the target audience into account? And again, I'm not talking about commercial advertisements alone. We also have social advertisements where, again, some of the aspects are not spelled out very clearly. Sometimes we have commercial organizations using social kind of advertising, the general advertising for a public cause, to put in a good face for the organization. So is that a subtle way of trying to dress up the organization, the front end that is, to create that kind of a public image or a kind of a goodwill in the minds of the viewers and the public? Why are advertisements always not speaking the truth? What if they don't speak the truth? What can the consumers do about it? If what was promised was not delivered, then what are the recourse that the consumers have? That is, what can be done if the advertisements are not speaking the truth? So discuss a lot of these aspects. So you're looking at the topic from various angles just by using this particular technique, looking at the keywords in the given topic. So that is the first technique that we will use. The second technique which you should use is to put yourself in the shoes of the stakeholders and view the topic from their own angle. So we call that technique views of stakeholders. Now, who are stakeholders? Anybody who has got a stake in the particular topic, directly or indirectly. For example, let us say there is an issue in your college. Now, who are the stakeholders in your college? Definitely the students, the teachers, the administrative staff, the governing council, the college union, the parents, the parent-teacher association, the media, the government, that is the concerned department, the education department or the ministry. If there is an issue with respect to, say, the curriculum of the college, then we are bringing in the university. If the college is autonomous, then we are talking about AICTE or UGC or any other regulatory body as the case may be. We're also talking about the media. We could also have external forces like political parties. Again, it depends on the nature of the issue in the college. It could be the public, the people who are staying in and around the college, if that issue is affecting them. So we are looking at the stakeholders in the case of that given topic. Now let us come to the given topic, that is advertising is all glitter and no truth. Let us look at the views of various stakeholders. First, we'll list down the stakeholders. Who are they? The advertisers, can be the manufacturer if it is a commercial activity, it can be a supplier where somebody is supplying to a marketing company and the marketing company is doing the advertising. So the manufacturer is different and the advertiser is different. That is possible. Could be a public service organization. It could be a political party. It could be a social organization. Then what about competitors? How do they view the ads? Particularly if it is all glitter and no truth, then what recourse do they have? And in several cases, competitors would raise objections to the advertisements and then take it to the regulatory authority in India, which is ASCI, which is Advertising Standards Council of India. Then viewpoints of advertising agencies, the models in the advertisements. What about the media? The various kinds of media who are involved in advertising. What about the viewers of the advertisement? They may not necessarily be buyers or consumers of the product or the service that is offered, but they might have an opinion about the given advertisement. What about the buyers of the product or service? What about the users? The buyer need not necessarily be the user. For example, a parent who is buying something for the kid because the kid saw an advertisement, was influenced by it, and then asked the parent or put pressure on the parent to buy that. What about the distribution channel? They are also part of the supply chain till the product reaches the final consumer, isn't it? So are they able to support the company with the kind of claims that they make in the particular advertisement? For example, in the case of cars, are the sales outlets able to project that kind of an image which the company wants the customers to have a feel of? Or let's say in a polio vaccine campaign, is the local governmental healthcare center able to provide that kind of service efficiently? Or is it just all claims that was given in the social ad, but finally when the consumer went to the health center, the service was not provided effectively or it was not available? Now, what if a consumer is not getting the kind of service, particularly in the case of a product for which the consumer has paid for? Then what is the kind of recourse that the consumer has? Then we are talking about consumer courts, which is linked to the word truth, isn't it? So if the advertising is misleading the consumer, then the consumer will have to go to the consumer court. How does the government or the concerned department of the government look at advertisements which are misleading the public? And often we see governments or departments coming out with warnings or certain protocols which are put in place to ensure that the advertisements are ensuring the well-being of the public. So put yourself in the shoes of each of these stakeholders and then think about their points of view. You will have a lot of points. The third technique to generate points is what is called SLEPT in short. That is an acronym for social, legal, economic, political and technical aspects of the given topic. Now, it is not necessary that we can possibly generate points from all these 5 aspects. That depends on the given topic. For example, in this particular topic that we have been talking about, that is advertising is all glitter and no truth, we talked about social advertising, isn't it? Advertising for a cause, advertising for the well-being of the public. So the social angle is very much there. The second aspect is legal. We talked about the legal issues. We talked about consumer courts. We talked about ASCII. We talked about legal remedy for the consumers. Economics, obviously, because we are talking about the business angle to advertising. So there is an economic aspect to it. Now, when we talk about economics, keep the development aspect also in mind. So I would say economics and development, particularly when we're talking about national level issues, when we talk about the economic aspects, then the developmental aspects will also come in. So keep that in mind. Then we're talking about political aspect, which means political advertisements. We talk about how some of those ads are all hype and no truth. Then we talk about the technical aspect of this. Is it possible to ban advertising in this modern world where there's a lot of electronic advertisements coming in, where the origin of the advertisements could be from outside the country? So in case they're not speaking the truth, is it possible to really ban them or block them? So in this particular topic that we have discussed, all these 5 aspects, that is the social, legal, economic, political and technical aspects of SLEPT are coming in. So what do you say now? Aren't we able to develop a lot of points given any topic? There are 2 aspects. One is to generate your own points. Second is keep your antennas up and ready while the discussion is going on, where suddenly somebody is putting in a point that triggers a thought in your mind and you connect to it and add on. So I hope that I've given you enough ideas about how to generate points in a group discussion. So coming out of a group discussion saying that I did not have enough valid points, so I could not participate effectively, is not at all valid, not acceptable. There could be situations where, given a knowledge-based topic, somebody is not aware about this topic, or there's a particular term which is given in the knowledge-based topic which a participant may not know. Obviously, he cannot ask the faculty about it. He cannot seek clarification. Now, suppose if a participant did not hear the topic very clearly, then he could request the faculty to repeat the topic by saying, "Sir, could you please repeat the topic?" That's absolutely fine. But suppose he does not know about a particular term which is given in the topic, he cannot ask for a clarification because that is a dead giveaway that he does not know what the topic is. So, in those kind of situations, the only option is to try and generate points based on some of the other words in the given topic, keywords that is, and then have a wait and watch kind of an approach where once the discussion starts, then look at what the others are saying, and then that should give you ideas, and then connect to those ideas and add on. Now, some people wait for the appropriate moment to come in. They keep waiting and waiting, and that appropriate moment will never come because you cannot wait for a couple of people who are discussing a particular topic to stop and then turn to you. So you need to jump in. Always when you use that time given to you by the faculty, the initial 3-4 minutes before the start of the GD, to generate points, generate just points. Write down points, not sentences. Don't waste your time writing sentences. Use the time to maximum effect by generating more and more points as much as you can. because we talked about 3 techniques to generate points, and you would understand that a lot of points can come up if you can use the techniques very effectively. So what I suggest is pick up topics at random. You would have access to a lot of topics, I'm sure. So pick up topics at random, different kinds of topics, general topics, knowledge-based, abstract, and use the techniques that I mentioned to generate points. So you can keep doing that on your own. At the same time, parallelly, practice by participating in a lot of group discussions. So all the best with your preparation. Keep doing well. Appreciate your time. Hope my insights were valuable and you benefit from my expertise. Catch the next video in our GD interview mastery series for MBA aspirants. The link is in the description. Stay tuned for more success tips.